asked you for your stories, and boy, did you deliver. So let's look at some true ghost stories told by you. Well, hello there, my spooky friends and wonderful wild weirdos. That's me too. I am so glad to see you, and I just want to thank you for all of the stories that you have sent me. And honestly, I'm probably going to have more than one video out of this. But let's dive in and hear your true creepy nursing, hospital, or just in general ghost stories. Okay, the first one comes from Anna Heist. When I worked inpatient psych, I saw a lot of weird things, but the strangest was an ethereal white mist that seemed to be coming off certain patients. It looked like something was evaporating off of them, just a faint, wispy white mist emanating from their skin. Wow. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen that, Anna. And my question is, was this when they were actively passing or just because they were psych patients? Or I want to know, what does that mean? And what do you think it was, the white mist? Like, I mean, because we're talking about psych, I don't know what that would be. So I want to hear your thoughts. And I also want to hear y'all, the viewers' thoughts down in the comments. Have you ever heard of anything like that? Because I haven't. The next one comes from Rosanna Dana. I love that. 2922. Does anybody remember Rosanna Dana? That's like old school SNL. All right. All my years of nursing, CCU, ER, etc., never ever saw a coworker open a window at a death until reading a few years ago on a nurse's site. When my mom-in-law passed, the window was opened by me. Okay, now, if you don't know, we have done a lot of nursing home hospital stories where, like, that used to be a regular practice. They would open a window when somebody passed to let their soul get out of the room. And there are, it sounds kind of, like, what? But let me tell you, there are a lot of creepy stories about things that happened if you didn't open the window. It's almost like they were trapped there. So, yeah, that is an old school thing. And unfortunately, in hospitals, they don't usually have windows that you can open anymore. So, but definitely in the LTCs and other things they do. I love that story because I'm glad that you did that, just in case. I don't want to be trapped here. Just saying. Somebody open my window. Come on. This one is by Ann Holden, 9908. I lived in a house with a history, as I like to call it. I had a friend who died in a car accident in August. Another friend and I were trying to decide whether to get a poinsettia or a tree for her graveside. One evening, I got home from work and found a frosted Christmas tree cookie on my kitchen table. We got her both, just to be sure. So I wonder if your house kind of produced the cookie. I don't know. My house does weird tricks, so maybe that was it. But it just kind of appeared, the Christmas tree cookie. I think it's a good thing. You got her both. Hey, she has both for Christmas in the afterlife, because apparently people do all kind of things in the afterlife, as we are finding out by these stories. So, dadgummit, I want a Christmas tree too. Okay. This is by Kevin Wainscott, 3035. In January 4th of this year, I received a kidney transplant. I had been on dialysis for 5 years. When I got home from the hospital, strange things started to happen. I started sleeping in my recliner because it was easier for me to get up and down. I have a chocolate lab female who sleeps at my feet every night. The first night home, she wakes me up growling and starts to bark, standing at the back door. I live 20 miles from town and saw no prowlers or wild animals. Every night since then, between 2 and 2:30 a.m., she starts barking at the back door like someone is there. This never happened before the transplant. I think it's the person who was deceased coming to check on me or his kidney. Wow, very strange. If you start studying cases of transplants and all the changes that people have and the weird stuff that happens, like it really makes you think. Are you still attached to your body parts when you leave here? I mean, I don't know if I'd come and visit my kidney. But what are you gonna do? You're busy in ghost world. You're out on the town, whatever. Then you look at your ghost watch and you're like, time to go visit my kidney. I mean, I don't know. Or are they just coming to check on you? Making sure, I know what it is. They're making sure you're taking care of those kidneys. Like, buddy, I didn't die for nothing. You take care of that kidney. I don't know. But that's very interesting that it never happened before. So there could be something to that for sure. Right. Joanna 7428. I worked in a care home a few years ago on the night shift. Whilst there, I heard feet shuffling sounds, but no reason for it. While I was setting dinner tables for the morning, looked out the door from where it came from, and nothing was there in either direction. One lady was close to death. She was a widow already, and as I sat with her one night, coat hangers began to rattle inside her wardrobe. Oh, and there was nobody. Oh my gosh. This was on nights, and no reason for that. There's no reason for that in the daytime either, let me just tell you. She had been talking to her deceased husband prior, and she passed the following day. I always thought weird things go on, yet you will never know if it's paranormal or just some simple explanation. That's true. One night at my parents' house, they'd both died. I was sleeping there before the house was sold. At 3 a.m., I heard 3 distinct knocks coming from the kitchen as if someone was knocking on the glossy cupboard doors. I got up to investigate. Nothing. But I went up the stairs very fast and never found out the cause. I was wide awake at the time of the sounds. I was struggling at the time with a lot of insomnia. Yeah, I'm still back on the coat hangers, okay? I'm still like, because if she was talking to her deceased husband, was he like looking for her a jacket or something? Like, it's time to go, hon. Let's get you a coat. Like, why are the coat hangers rattling? That is bizarre. Actually never heard that one before. The 3 knocks, that is crazy. My mom tells a story about that happened one time. I was a little kid, and there were 3 distinct knocks on the front door, and there was no one there, and it was creepy. Look, she marked the day on the calendar, and a year later to the day, my dad was in a bicycle accident, like a car. He was hit by a car on his bicycle. Now, he was just kind of banged up. It wasn't like really bad, but it coincided to a year before with the knocks. So what are the knocks, like a warning? Like what? What do y'all think? Have y'all ever heard knocks? Just wondering. Okay, this one comes from Martha Dunham. My mom was in the hospital near her passing. Family members were there, including my twin. I should have been there, but I wasn't. My mom passed that night, and my sister said after she passed, the elevators down the hallway were all dinging and opening and shutting. Wow. So I've heard like similar stories about somebody passing in a long-term care facility, and then the elevator doors opening and closing without reason and weird stuff like that. Wonder if was she taking the elevator, was the elevator going up or down? And was she taking the elevator to get out of the hospital? I don't know. Because if you think you're just leaving, like, some people, they say, don't realize they've passed when they actually do. Like, did she just get up out of her body and think she was walking down the hall or whatever? And she's like, oh, well, I feel great. It's time to go home. I don't know. What happens? These are questions that I need someone to answer. I need to be prepared. Okay, this one comes from Sandy Grimes. Yep, I've been a CNA for about 24 years and worked from hospitals to now a residential home. I hear things seen a black spirit and a white one, both like in the corner of my eye. Footsteps, things being moved. Guess I'm kind of used to it. I just tell Jesus to make those spirits move on because I don't have time for them. Yes, most of the residents always see kids, and I work nights, sometimes by myself. I mean, what can one do? You can't complain to the staff that ghosts are bothering you. Well, that's for sure. Even if you had a full staff, it's not like you can go to the supervisor and say, hey, can you do something about these ghosts? Because they're really getting on my nerves, okay? Like, as a supervisor, how do you train for that sort of thing? I don't know. Do you just call the Ghostbusters? I don't. What do you do at 2 a.m.? No, but we've talked a lot about residents seeing kids before they pass, and definitely the shadow figures and stuff like that. Very, very common in a hospital or long term care facility on the night shift. You go, girl. You just tell them, ain't got time for this. Ain't got time for you. Go on. That's what I tell them. Catastrophe 1112. I spent some time as a CNA during the 90s. I was with an elderly patient preparing her for bed. I saw another patient down at the other end of the hall staring at me. Thinking she needed assistance, I held up one finger, signaling I would be with her in a minute. I hurriedly finished what I was doing in the first patient's room and headed to the lady in the pink nighty with the long silver hair who'd been watching me from the hallway. When I entered her room, I noticed her empty bed. I went flying to the nurse's station to tell the charge nurse the lady in the pink nighty was not in her room. I was informed that the lady with the long silver hair and pink nighty had died 10 minutes before I went into her room. Oh, wow. Well, so she wasn't waiting for you. She's standing there staring. I'll bet that's at the point that she realized, I think I'm dead. Oh, and I see everybody else working. And then she's just like, well, I ain't staying around here. Deuces, y'all. Wow, that's really crazy, though, that you saw her. And obviously she looked solid enough that you thought that she was the real patient. That's creepy. Creepy. Well, she went out with, some style. She went out with a bang. I don't know. I think she just wanted to let you know. For one thing, you waited too long to come to her room. I guess. Who knows? Oh, but here's something else. Also, she had been bedridden and wouldn't have been in the hall. All these years later, I remember that every detail of that encounter. Wow. So what she couldn't even get up then when you saw her at the end of the hall. Definitely. She was probably feeling her oats, and yeah, she was out, buddy. She was on the town. Okay, before we go, I want to go to some comments that you have sent to me. And this one comes from Clary B 101. This is going to sound strange. I've come across your channel about 2 weeks ago, and every time I see the first little clip of some videos and it shows your house, and immediately I had the feeling of fairies and they're around your place. Don't know why, but yeah, apparently I'm a little intuitive according to some other intuitive / psychic friends. Now, I think she's talking about my old videos where I'm doing renovations and stuff on this house, because the ones that you see in these clips, not my house. But they're in the pile back there. You can see it. And let me tell you something, Clary B. I look, the first day I came on this property, it was very magical, and it wouldn't have shocked me to see a fairy. Now, I've never seen a fairy. I'm not even sure I believe in fairies, but a lot of people do. And even some scientific people believe in fairies. Now, I don't know what's around this house, but I do have some pranks going on. So is it different? Is it, not a ghost? Is it a fairy? I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me if I've got fairies. So, I think that's really cool that was kind of your vibe with the house. Okay, the last one for now comes from Cat Vog. Yes, I have seen some strange things. Some I only felt the presence. Hair stand up on your neck and arms. One whispered my name in my ear. Yikes. Yeah, again, if you haven't seen my old videos, like the talking in the ear, the whispering, the touching, that's a big no for me. Do not call my name. Don't whisper my name. Now, my name has been called a bunch of times in this house, but not in my ear. That is just, this is my bubble. This is my bubble. Stay out of my bubble. I've got no room for ghosts this close. Keep a polite distance, okay? Okay, I'm going to end it for right now, but I still have a ton of your stories plus other stories from around the internet. So if you like true ghost stories, then please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. In the meantime, y'all. Oh, I didn't even say anything to Scully. Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble now. Oh, yeah, he's got that look. He's not happy. It's going to be a long night. Well, y'all enjoy. Whatever you do, just stay spooky. I know, Scully. I know. I'm sorry. Oh, gee.